everyone out there. How's it going? The new year is almost here. It is the end of the year, and I thought that this was the perfect time for me to share with you some of the ways that you can change your life or improve your life in the new year. Some different habits and practices and mindsets even that can make a big difference in your life. And these are all things that at different times in my life or even over the past year have made a difference my life personally. But of course, these are things that can apply to any year if you're watching this in the future at some point or any time of year, not just the new year. But I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I want to give a quick shout out to Obey Fitness for partnering up with me on today's video. I'll be chatting more about them in a moment, and let's get started. So number one, the first thing that I want to talk about here, creating a vision. And really a vision is just getting crystal clear on what it is that you want for yourself in your life. And so you can create a vision by writing this down and really just getting really specific about what it is that you want for yourself. How do you want to live? How do you want to feel day to day? What are some of the things that you want to be, bringing more of into your life? Just a vision. You can even get specific by making lists about maybe a particular thing that you want in your life. When we have that vision, it gives us a little bit more of that starting point of kind of where to go from, kind of that foundation of where it is that we want to go. Number two is to know your why. Anytime you want to make any kind of change in your life, big or small, knowing the why behind that is so key, because it helps you to draw upon your own intrinsic motivation with making a change or setting a goal or anything like that, as opposed to wanting to do something in your life because you feel like you should, or someone thinks that you should, or you're feeling influenced by others that just make you feel like it's something that you should be doing. Knowing your why, what it is about something that's so important to you, is so key. Number three is to keep any goals that you may want to set for yourself realistic. Sometimes what can happen is that we set pretty lofty goals, really big goals, or things that are harder to attain. Maybe we try to strive for perfection in some way or another. Maybe we say to ourselves, we're going to start doing some type of new activity that we've never done before, too frequently or too often or just too much, or whatever it may be, and it just ends up being harder for us to attain, harder for us to carry out. And so when we really keep things realistic, when we say to ourselves, hey, just a little bit of something or taking small steps at a time, it's just going to be so much easier for us to do, and it'll give us the momentum to keep moving forward because it's something that's actually realistic and doable for us. Number four, I think this one might be my favorite on this list because it's such a big part of my life, is to have a daily ritual of some sort. I certainly have this for myself. Every morning when I get up, I make myself a tea, I sit down on this couch here, and I journal. Listen to a little bit of meditation music, and I do that for a little while. And it's something I genuinely look forward to every day, is my little morning routine, my little morning rituals. But for you, it could be anything, could be any time of day, could be in the evening, could be before bed, could be something that you do in the afternoon. Just having some kind of ritual with a couple little things that bring you joy helps to add that element of just something to look forward to every day. Number five, I've talked about this in so many of my videos, I feel, but I can't not include it in this list here, and that is to do your best to keep your blood sugar balanced as much as you can through the day, and also just eat enough through the day. This has got to be one of the keys for sure in helping you feel your best day to day, is keeping that blood sugar balanced, because when we do, what happens is we support our energy levels, our mood, our hormones, our nervous system, our appetite. We just feel so much better when we're eating enough and just keeping that blood sugar balanced. So the way that we do this is we make sure that we're eating enough fat and protein and fiber and complex carbohydrates through the day and with our meals, and just making sure that the quantities of our meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, are sufficient, and we're not going too long between meals to the point where we're really hungry. That can definitely lead us to having kind of an uncontrollable experience around food. Number 6 is to let go of the diet mentality. The mentality of having to go on a diet. This is something that's pretty common in the new year is, doing some kind of diet overhaul or reset or refresh, cutting foods out of the diet, telling yourself you can't have certain things, or aiming for perfection around this. And really what happens is this type of mindset around food is just not very sustainable. It really sets you up for failure because when we tell ourselves we can't have something, it makes us want it more, and it tends to be something that's quite hard to stick to and can kind of backfire and lead you to almost overdoing it with things. And so being flexible and not being so rigid in life in general, but especially with the food that we eat, is super important, and really just allowing things to exist in our life. I have a whole video on overeating if you want to learn a little bit more about this. I talk more kind of about this whole idea in that video, so I will leave that for you linked below. Number 7 is to meal plan. This is something that I started doing a couple of years ago, made such a difference in my life. Totally life hack for sure here. And really meal planning is just writing out the meals that you want to make for the week, maybe your dinner meals or even breakfast, and then grocery shopping accordingly so that you kind of know exactly what you need to buy. And then when you are cooking through the week, it's just a lot easier because you can kind of see. I like to keep mine posted in the kitchen so I can just kind of see what are some of the things that I have on the menu for the week, and I already have all the ingredients for it. It really makes life so much easier. So give it a try. I also have a whole video on getting started with meal planning if you want to learn more. Number 8 is to take a multivitamin. This is just a really easy way that you can cover your nutritional bases. It feels good to do it too, just to know that you're kind of have like a little bit of a insurance policy for your health. Just a really easy way to make sure that you're getting some extra nutrients through the day. Of course, we want to get as much nutrition as we can from the food that we eat, but a multivitamin can be something that still feels good. Of course, best to speak to your doctor here if you have any questions about adding a new supplement into your daily routine. But I started taking a multivitamin a few months ago now, and it just feels good. I feel really good doing it. It's just nice to kind of, again, cover your bases nutritionally speaking. Number 9 is to find exercise that you enjoy. This is huge. It's so huge. For me, me and my husband love going for walks pretty regularly. I love walking. It's probably one of my favorite forms of movement. But I also love things like hiking. Even just getting outside into nature is such a great way to move, but also to ground yourself, right? But another thing that I've been loving a lot lately is the fitness platform Obey Fitness. They are an online fitness platform with a whole array of different kinds of workout classes. They've got live classes that you can attend, on-demand workouts as well, in all kinds of different styles, such as cardio. They have sculpt classes. I really like those ones. They've got Pilates, yoga, high intensity interval training. They have dance classes. And it's fun. And they also have them in different lengths of time. They have ones that are just 10 minutes or 28 minutes, which is their kind of signature length, or 45 minutes or 60 minutes. So really great for just exploring what you personally like, and also in different levels too. Beginner friendly. They've got more advanced classes. They have workout classes that are prenatal, postnatal friendly, kid friendly, that sort of thing too. And they also have really great instructors that have a ton of different expertise. I really love Liz C. She's super fun. Catherine Avery is also really fun. I like her sculpt and dance cardio classes. And in my opinion, I just think that moving your body in any which way should be something that doesn't feel draining or bad or forced. It should be something that is enjoyable and doable. That's what's going to allow you to actually carry it out and kind of stick with it. So if you want to give Obey Fitness a try, I will leave a link for you below. You can get a 1-month free trial with the code MEGANL. Link for you below to check them out. Number 10 is to reconnect with a hobby or a passion of yours. For me, this has been art. I am so over the moon to have started doing some more artwork over the past month or so. I feel like sometimes we can kind of lose sight of how good it feels to actually spend time on something that we really love and that brings us joy. I know for myself, I've definitely gone through phases where I just completely stopped doing art for even a couple of years, and I forget how good it feels. And then when we can reconnect with it and kind of just rekindle that joy, that passion for something, it feels so good for your soul. And it just adds that little extra bit of fulfillment into your life day to day. And it doesn't mean that this is something that you should, try to do every single day, even if it's just once a week where you can work on something that you love, or even just a couple times a month. It just feels so good to do it. Number 11 is to tidy up or revamp your social feeds a little bit. So I think most people, we, at least to some degree, spend a bit of time on social media, and this can definitely impact how you feel, right? The things that you're scrolling through, reading, seeing, what have you. And so something that I for sure do from time to time is I'll just kind of, evaluate the accounts that I'm following and if they feel useful and beneficial to me, and just kind of sort through them. And it's something that can actually, impact how you feel for sure. Which brings me to my next point, and that is to tidy up a space in your home. Does it ever feel good to just do a nice little cleaning session, whether you spend an afternoon just, cleaning an area of your home, doing a deep clean? I don't know if you can hear the birds. Can you hear the birds chirping? They're like right out the window here. They're very chirpy right now. What was I saying? Oh, it just feels really good to do a nice cleaning session or even a decluttering session, going through an area of your home, especially for the new year. It's just a great way to kind of refresh your space and a great way to kind of refresh your mind as well. Next is to nourish your relationships. I feel like, as we get older, it is definitely very true that nurturing our relationships and spending time on them definitely takes effort, right? It takes effort to reach out to people, to show people that we care, and even just doing little things like that, reaching out, making plans, messaging someone, and even in person, just being present and being more attentive and making sure that you're listening. Little things like this, just to show that you care, is a wonderful thing to do. It really can make a difference when we are more conscious and aware of how we show up for others. In how those relationships feel. It definitely can change and improve how those relationships feel. Number 14, I'm gonna get a little bit ooey gooey here, but this is such a big one because it's been such a big part of my entire life, and I hope that you will take this one to heart for the new year perhaps. And that is to follow your heart, even with just a small thing. For me, listening to my intuition, listening to my gut, following my heart in various areas of my life over the years has always led me to really beautiful places. Those birds, let me tell you. There's a cardinal. Oh, I love cardinals. I hope that, this can be a little push of inspiration to, if something over the next year or in the new year kind of is tugging at your heart a little bit, to try and just follow that, even if it's something really small, and just see where it takes you. I also have a whole video on how to listen to your intuition. If this is something that you want to explore, I share some insights in that video. I'll leave it linked below. Number 15 is to face a fear. For sure, without a doubt, facing fears in my life has always proved to me that, the worries that I have, the fears that I have about things are almost always unrealistic and just made up in my head, and just always boosts my confidence when there's something I'm a little bit nervous about or something that I want to do, but I have a lot of fears about it. But when I face it, you always feel so much better, and you learn so much from the experience too. The more that you face different kinds of fears, the more that you can learn that it's always okay in the end, and we figure things out as we go, and just things are hardly ever as terrible as we make them up to be in our head. Number 16 is to focus on one step at a time. If you're anything like me, you probably get overwhelmed very easily, especially when there are maybe things we want to do, or maybe we feel like we have this mountain of responsibilities, or just things we want to get done or achieve, whatever it may be. And sometimes it can feel so overwhelming, to the point of almost paralysis, like we don't know where to start, and then it's just this whole big thing. But focusing on one tiny step at a time, and sometimes even breaking things down to the teeniest, tiniest little first step, as opposed to focusing on this big, huge thing that you need to kind of do, but instead breaking it down can really make a difference in helping you to move forward. Number 17 is to savor the small things in life. So something that I've been feeling quite a bit lately and over the past little while is just feeling like life is going by so fast. I'm sure some of you guys out there can relate to this. Like, I don't know. I mean, every year always feels like it's, another year has gone by, but time just feels like it's gone by fast in my life. And sometimes I guess I feel like I want to try and find ways to slow down the time a little bit. And one of the ways that we can do this is honestly by just savoring little moments more and being more present with just everyday things, and really just finding the joy in the little things. Just noticing little things that we easily dismiss or bypass in our life, and just really trying to take a moment to be fully in that moment can kind of help time slow down a little bit. There is so much nuance in life. There are rarely absolutes, I feel, in life, and thinking in extremes can definitely lead you to being more closed-minded. And I think that there's just a level of confidence that can come from sometimes just being okay with not always knowing, not always having all the answers. I myself am happy to say there are many things that I don't know, and that's okay. It's okay to sometimes just not know, but certainly to kind of try not to think in such a black and white way where it's either this or it's that, because the reality is there's often a lot of gray area in a lot of different ways, and that's okay. Number 19 is to use a to-do list or a planner. I am such a big to-do list user, have been for many years, as someone who has a very messy mind and brain and have like a million things that I'm thinking about at any given time. Just using a to-do list is so helpful for me. Every single day I have my to-do list just to keep my tasks organized, the things that I need to get done, kind of takes what's going on in the mind and like puts it in an external place. And lastly, number 20, as we enter the new year, is to perhaps take a moment to reevaluate what success means to you. And when we do this, what happens is it kind of allows us to adjust our actions accordingly with what it is that we are striving for. Really take a moment to think about and define success for you and what success really means to you. Sometimes what can happen, and I know this just because I've experienced this myself, is we can chase sometimes the wrong things for the wrong reasons, or even the right things for the wrong reasons. I think this kind of comes back to knowing your why with certain things in life. Why is it that we want certain things? Why is it that we are going after a certain thing? Is it something that actually is important to us and matters to us? Or is it something that we're doing for, a reason or an arbitrary reason that really doesn't mean too much to us? So I think this is good to do. It's like a great thing to reflect on, even every year perhaps, or every quarter, is just, what does success mean to me? What is most important to me? Because it's so different for everyone. And taking a moment to revisit that so that we can move forward in the way that actually feels best for us can be a game changer. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you resonated with a thing or two in this list that I shared with you, a couple different habits and practices and mindsets that can improve your life. Let me know in the comments below if there's any of these things that you feel like you kind of resonated with the most, or if there's any goals or intentions that you're setting for the new year. Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to check out Obey Fitness. Again, I have a code for you to get a 1-month free trial, the code Meghan L. I'll leave that linked for you below in the description box. And that is it. Happy New Year. I will see you all next year. Bye.